Los Angeles. Now, the Southland's leading news, Eyewitness News, at 4.
Good afternoon. Here is the latest at 4. A special panel of transit experts today charged the RTD with faulty hiring practices. And it said the RTD is spending too much time on the Metro Rail project, as Gene Gleason now reports.
The RTD set up the independent panel to evaluate its safety record after a string of embarrassing bus accidents this summer that left the impression that the bus drivers and the RTD itself were out of control. Today, that panel, headed by the former director of the Chicago Transit Authority, warned that the RTD may be spending too much of its time and attention on Metro Rail and not enough on the bus system. Panel member Charles Thomas spoke to the group by phone from his job as head of Philadelphia's transit agency.
There's a lot of pressure, I'm sure, on the RTD to be very fastidious about getting the two rail lines going. And many times, in order to meet schedules and to meet other requirements, staff members from the bus side may be taken to supplement the rail operation. Of course, when that occurs, the things that the people assigned to the bus operation were going to do have to sit on the back burner.
Other panel members said that since 1982, the RTD has been hiring the wrong people. That's when the bus company started to hire only part-time drivers.
And it thus automatically eliminates from consideration the people who are seeking only full-time employment and who are probably the ones who would have the best potential to become stable, reliable, accident-free drivers. The authority needs part-timers, the authority needs full-timers. They should be selected separately.
The last point quickly won endorsement from Bus Drivers Union President Earl Clark.
I myself, speaking on behalf of this union, would endorse a full-time hiring practice of the RTD. I would endorse a full-time, part-time pool, that the only job that those people could do would be part-time work.
These findings from this independent commission and specific recommendations on how the RTD might solve some of its problems will be presented tomorrow morning at a special Saturday session of the full RTD board. After that, it'll be up to the board to decide whether to accept them and implement them or just ignore them. Gene Gleason, Channel 7 Eyewitness News, downtown.
The new judge in the McMartin preschool molestation case today held his first meeting with attorneys and one defendant. Superior Court Judge William Pounders indicated he would move quickly to begin the trial, which is expected to start early next year. The defendants, Raymond Buckey and his mother Peggy, are charged with a combined 99 counts of molestation. Meanwhile, the judge granted a December 8th hearing on a defense motion that claims prosecutors held the Buckeys without bail on a charge which the DA never intended to pursue.
If it doesn't outrage you that presumptively innocent people could be kept in jail, no bail, for 2.5 years on a lie, what is outrageous conduct?
We expect that the outcome of this motion will vindicate this office, and we expect to go to trial as soon as possible.
The Buckeys were ordered to stand trial after an 18-month preliminary hearing, the longest in California history. Jerry.
Busy in the nation's capital about you-know-what. Central Intelligence Director William Casey spent the day on Capitol Hill today testifying on the administration's sale of arms to Iran before both the Senate and House Intelligence Committees. Later, House Majority Leader Jim Wright said Iran paid more than $12 million for the war supplies. The Intelligence Committee members also went to the White House to hear the National Security Advisor John Poindexter's explanation of the Iranian arms deal, which he ran. And speaking with reporters later, Senate Majority Leader Robert Dole said he thought the Iran controversy will continue as long as the president's advisors keep blaming each other.
I think they need to sort of have a meeting. I hear a lot of statements coming from people who are apparently involved, sort of pointing the finger, blaming one another. I don't believe that would be helpful.
This situation is really creating a creeping paralysis that is going to continue to sap the energies and the time of the administration, and the credibility of the nation is at stake. And I think the sooner the president acts quickly and decisively, put this thing behind us, and just say we made a mistake, we goofed, we want to clean it up, and let's get on with the business of the nation. We're ready to cooperate.
Senator Byrd went on to say, by the way, he's the incoming majority leader, went on to say that he'll introduce a bill requiring any secret White House intelligence activity, any intelligence activity, to be subject to congressional oversight. This note, an environmental impact report prepared by the Air Force for Congress says a fleet of nuclear missiles may be stationed in Southern California at one of two locations. They are Edwards Air Force Base and Fort Irwin in the Mojave Desert near Barstow. As many as 50 of the new Midget-Man small ICBMs would be stationed at one of those two bases. Terry?
Another story important to California, Jerry. The National Association of Latino Officials has begun a new program to help immigrants gain citizenship. Henry Alfaro explains.
Based on the 1984 current population survey, there are about 3 million Hispanics of voting age living here in this country that are eligible to become permanent citizens. About 800,000 of them live here in Southern California. Today, the National Association of Latino Elected Officials announced plans to open a special office here in Los Angeles. Naleo says this will be a base from which to develop those essential services needed to help legal immigrants become U.S. citizens. Congressman Ed Roybal said because of the new immigration reform law, the timing is critical.
A new and at present unknown number of immigrants will be needing citizenship and English classes in order to move towards legalization and to be legalized in the United States.
Assemblywoman Gloria Molina said the educational process will strengthen the political clout of the Hispanic community.
Why hasn't the Hispanic community developed more political power? And of course, there's many reasons for all of it. But we know very well that part of the effort of trying to ensure that we're going to have that political participation is trying to get our community involved in the political process. And a big void in that is that so many people within our community are still not citizens of the United States.
Naleo's Los Angeles Citizenship Office is expected to open sometime in January. But interested persons seeking citizenship information can call this number, 1-800-44-NALEO. Henry Alfaro reporting for Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Another offer of help for those seeking amnesty is coming from Archbishop Roger Mahoney, who said some attorneys would take advantage of undocumented workers trying to become eligible for amnesty. Instead, the Archbishop said the church will give free legal counseling to those unsure about whether they qualify. Mahoney added that patrols of the U.S.-Mexican border are not the answer to migration into this country, but that the flow will continue until the causes are addressed.
And coming next, when we continue, your attitude can make a difference in your health, and Dr. Dean Adele will report on that, and we'll look at the effect of AIDS.
Have you seen the selection of frames at LensCrafters? Over 10 times the selection of an ordinary optical store. And every one of them can be precision ground and ready to wear home in about an hour. Listen.
I got no line bifocals in less than an hour.
It can all be done in 1 hour.
Fantastic.
See for yourself and discover the LensCrafter difference. LensCrafters. Call 800-722-LENS for the location near you.
Oh, the selection was remarkable.
When you get a cold or an allergy,
you need some herbal tea.
You also get a lot of advice.
What you want to do is feed a cold.
A lot of advice.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
But the best advice is what doctors have said millions of times. Take Dimetap. Dimetap in non-prescription formulas brings proven relief. So take the advice of doctors and pharmacists.
The tea works. Huh?
And take Dimetap, the best advice you can take.
Some people don't believe me when I say track auto prices are really tough to beat. So to you, I say, take a look at what's on sale this week.
Protect your car with the Ames Auto Computer Alarm System, just $69.99. Or Track Auto 72-month trouble-free bruiser battery, only $49.99. And Quaker State Deluxe 10W40 motor oil, just 88 cents a quart.
And it doesn't matter where you break down because Track Auto's got stores all over the place.
Track Auto prices are really tough to beat.
Okay, if we're talking an import, what counts to you?
It's got to be fun and have lots of features.
Imported Dodge Raider has standard 4-wheel drive, a 5-speed stick, and a 2.6-liter engine. The imported Dodge Power Ram 50 has more horsepower than Mazda and a larger standard cab than Toyota. See the new Raider and Power Ram 50 at your Dodge dealer today. When it comes to imports, we know what counts.
That's what counts to me.
At your Southern California Dodge dealer.
The State Department of Health is spending $200,000 on 6 conferences on AIDS. Last week in Santa Barbara, this weekend in Los Angeles. As Cynthia Allison tells us, the purpose is to find ways to treat all the aspects of this medical crisis.
Well, I suspected that I was going to be sick all along.
John Noel Orestes is one of 30,000 Americans who has AIDS.
Then I started to realize, of course, I had to deal with dying and prepare myself for suffering, and also that my family would suffer from this.
Take a look at all this literature. We've learned a lot about AIDS, but it's still a mystery. And while doctors search for a cure and vaccine for the body, others are trying to figure out the best way to psychologically treat people with AIDS and everyone else who's scared of getting it.
I think the greatest emotional victims of those are those who know they are at risk, either by having had the test and having been positive, or those who just won't have the test and know know that they feel that they're positive. I think that they have a great deal of difficulty dealing with the fact that they always feel the disease as an axe over their head.
Dr. Joel Weissman is one of the early fighters and organizers of the war against AIDS. He calls these people the heroes because they are psychological caretakers. Physicians, psychologists, family and marriage counselors, and social workers are gathering for a 2-day conference.
AIDS is transmitted through intimate sexual contact and contaminated blood products.
They came to hear the facts, physical and psychiatric syndromes. The goal is to generate dialogue and get these people networking and seeing how they can be available to help each other. They will be developing services and resources in Los Angeles for anyone who's feeling threatened by AIDS. One suggestion comes from Orestes.
Compassion, that's what we really need.
From Westwood, Cynthia Allison, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
An alarming prediction today about the spread of AIDS. The World Health Organization says the disease could claim up to 3 million victims within the next 5 years. The organization is gearing up with a worldwide program to fight AIDS. Here in Los Angeles County, health officials say that 109 more cases of AIDS were reported last month, bringing the number of known victims to 2,360. Well, are you an optimist or a pessimist? Your answer may be directly connected with your health. Dr. Dina Dell tells us the optimist is the winner in more ways than one.
When the sky is a bright canary yellow, I forget every cloud I've ever seen. So they call me a cockeyed optimist.
In the movies, being an optimist might get you somewhere, but what about in the real world? Well, new research says that optimism may actually help you live longer. A study found that pessimism is a risk factor for illness and early death. People who felt that bad things always happened to them did far worse than optimists when they became ill. Researchers found pessimism in daily life was directly linked to the onset of clinical depression and poor immune function. And if you're a gambler, this research may even help your betting, because the studies show that attitude clearly affects sports performance. Doctors studied newspaper quotes by basketball players and determined optimism quotients for various teams. Sure enough, the optimistic teams were more often the winner. For instance, during this study, the Celtics, a very optimistic team, beat the Las Vegas odds makers 68% of the time. And optimism may even affect your job performance. Researchers studied 100 insurance salesmen. Those who scored in the top half of the optimism questionnaire at the beginning of the study lasted twice as long on the job and sold 40% more life insurance than the pessimists. So in this world of pre-employment drug tests and lie detector tests, if anyone shows you this one, the correct answer is it's half full. I'm Dr. Dean Adele.
And coming up next, we're going to check in with Dr. George, our optimist, to find out what we can expect in the way of weather this weekend. Stay with us.
This is dedicated to the ones we love.
You know what your problem is, Eric?
Alice?
You're 43 years old, and you still eat cold pizza and donuts for breakfast.
So that's it.
All that sugar, all those preservatives.
Hold it. Should I try Nutri-Green?
Yeah.
Delicious Nutri-Grain. Only the whole grain with no preservatives and no sugar added.
Goodbye.
Oh, wait. Does this mean you love me?
Yes.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain cereal.
Dedicated to the ones we love.
Come get the best of the USA. Come out and play the American way. The stars by night, the sun by day. It's the American way to play. Las Vegas in every way. It's the American way to play.
Books cost too much, so I opened Crown Books. Now you'll never have to pay full price again. We have over 10,000 books to choose from. Belva Plain of Evergreen fame returns with the family that made her so famous in Golden Cup, just $10.77. And the sketchbooks of Pablo Picasso, a treasure trove of over 700 illustrations, just $39. Crown's one place you can't judge a book by its cover, price. So remember, if you paid full price, you didn't buy it at Crown Books.
If you're under 18, hang up now.
976 numbers.
I'm glad you called again. I needed you, baby.
They're LA's newest pastime.
Oh, it feels so good talking to you.
For men and women.
Oh, call back again soon.
Reporter Harold Green reveals what's really going on over the party lines of Phone Sex.
Oh.
This week on Eyewitness News at 11, only on 7.
Volcanic eruptions on the small Japanese island of Oshima sent thousands of people fleeing for their lives today. It was last Saturday when Mount Mihara began rumbling, shooting orange lava into the air. And then today, much larger eruptions took place. A 600-yard fissure opened on the side of the mountain, and plumes of black smoke shot 2 miles into the air. Around 40 small forest fires broke out as lava began flowing down the mountain toward the island's major town of Motomachi. Officials ordered all 11,000 residents evacuated from the island, a 35-square-mile piece of land 70 miles south of Tokyo. 8,000 have already left in rescue boats, and the evacuations are continuing. So far, there are no reports of injuries, although one man died of a heart attack during the evacuation. Mount Mihara last erupted 12 years ago, but experts say this is the strongest eruption there in 200 years. Mary?
Of course, you know, Jerry, this is the day we always get the forecast for the weekend from Dr. George, but we're going to get something a little more than that today.
Okay, extras.
Jerry knows how I hate to stick my neck out on forecasts because you can get the head chopped off.
Bad for scar tissue, Jerry.
Yeah, bad for scar tissue. All right. But I've got a 500 millibar chart for the beginning of the Thanksgiving weekend. And you'll see, hopefully we'll see that one. All right. Right now, partly cloudy, temperature 69, humidity 59%, and the wind southwest at 14, barometer is 30.00. All right, now let's move into the next section here and find what we have. We don't have nothing there. Whatever that isn't much of anything. But there's the U.S. Max for tomorrow, and this is going to get us our start around here, for goodness sake. There's the front working its way across. Now remember, this is for Saturday. That's several days before next Thursday and Friday and Saturday. This is a week early. By next Saturday, we expect to see all of this change. We do have a situation that is coming in, bringing high winds into Montana again. They have had so many high winds up there. And over here in Maine, still temperatures in the 40s and in the 30s. The lows tonight, most interesting of all, look at that snow up there. That's always in the higher elevations, of course. What is it in the lower? You know, it's rain, for goodness sake. All right, as we move on down this highway of learning, avoiding the chuck holes as much as possible, there's the almanac for today, high 72, low of 62, and sunrise and sunset just about the same usual times. They vary a couple of minutes each day, but tonight, low clouds, and those low clouds ending tomorrow morning should be the last low clouds for 5 or 6 days. They'll occur from LAX south Now, we did have some low clouds out in the San Bernardino Valley all day, and they'll be back denser tonight. But once they break away, the situation changes, because by tomorrow there's clearing and mostly sunny. Tomorrow night the winds start to pick up, and we start to get a moderate Santa Ana condition. And it'll come on in across the area. Absolutely beautiful, I'll tell you that. And that's the important one, because Sunday the temperatures should rise up. You notice tomorrow 73. By Sunday it could be up, I said 80. Be closer maybe to 79, but I'd just like to see if we could reach 80 for that one day. That would be for Sunday. And then Monday and Tuesday, things start to cool off again. Here's our 5-day forecast. Clearing, sunny, moderate Santa Ana winds, partly cloudy, fair, but the temperature's changing. The best day of the week, well, I don't know if you're going to have winds, if that's a good day, but they're only moderate Santa Ana winds. And across the United States, for Thanksgiving Day and for Friday and so on, I see nothing but great weather. I don't see any storms anywhere. It's just as if Father Nature is celebrating with us.
All right. We'll be thankful that he did that for us. All right. Time to take notes here. Get your pencil and paper ready. Just ahead, Jackie Olden has a tip for making your Thanksgiving turkey juicier.
This year, the best season's eatings are coming from Lewis Rich Breast of Turkey for a holiday feast, appetizer treats. You see, Lewis Rich is all lean white meat, hand-carved and cooked whole from the bird, so it's juicy and delicious. And one goes farther than you can imagine. One taste and you'll know why Lewis Rich gets so many invitations around the holidays.
It took Lewis Rich to make turkey so right.
There's a new line of irresistible fresh baked goods in town. So good, they're leading folks into temptation.
Mom bought these Entenmann chocolate chip cookies. Lots of chocolate chips. She got them for the whole family, but I got home first. Mom's gonna be there.
I bought my family's favorite breakfast Danish, Entenmann's Raspberry Danish Twist with pure raspberry jam. But I knew if I didn't get to it first, I wouldn't get any.
Who ate all the Entenmann? Who ate all the Entenmann?
Safeway talks turkey. This Thanksgiving, delight your family with a beautiful turkey from Safeway. Free. Just clip out a coupon from a Safeway ad and purchase $100 worth of groceries on one Safeway register receipt. You'll get a 10 to 14-pound turkey free. And nothing goes with turkey as well as Safeway's everyday honest deal on U-Band coffee. Gourmet coffee that comes in a can. U-Band coffee and a free turkey for a happy Thanksgiving from Safeway.
Burger King knows how hard you work for your money. So right now, the King Combo is just $2.49. A medium Pepsi, large fries, and a juicy flame-broiled Whopper. All for just $2.49. Hurry into Burger King now for the $2.49 King Combo.
This is the Burger King town.
After all, labor should have its reward.
We know how burgers should be.
The aerial action camera right now is over the scene of the crash of a light plane in a residential section of Fullerton. We'll go out there now, and you will be looking at almost as much as we know for sure about this right now. We do know that what is left of that plane landed there about 3:35 this afternoon with 2 people on board. There's some dispute about what type of plane it is. It's either a Piper Cherokee or a Grumman AA-5. In any case, this is a very short distance from the end of the runway at the Fullerton Airport. That plane apparently clipped a tree in the parkway across the street from that house and crashed into the street and skidded up onto the lawn there. We don't know exactly what the condition of the 2 people inside that plane is at this moment, but we can presume that they are injured. Paramedics were on the scene at the time shortly after the crash, and the Federal Aviation Administration officials are out there. There is apparently no damage to the home or injury to anyone inside the home, but it is, of course, an amazing and very dangerous, fraught with danger situation down there in Fullerton. as that plane apparently making an approach to land at the Fullerton Airport. We're going to find out as much as we can right now about it and get back to you with anything that can update the story sufficiently. Jerry, I think it's over to you in the kitchen.
Please take note on this. We're going to talk about turkey. We're going to talk about dressing. But specifically, I understand from Jackie Olin that we're going to talk about upside-down turkey.
Right.
Why would you do that to a perfectly good upright bird?
Well, because if you turn the turkey upside down when you first start cooking it, Jerry, what happens is all the juices flow to the breast. Now, can you see the lines here? Yeah. This has been upside down most of the time, and I just turned it over the last 30 minutes of cooking.
Is this your own secret? Does everybody know this, or are we just letting it out for a first?
I think, well, I've been talking about it for the past 10 years as I've been talking and preaching cooking.
No secret.
No, it's not really. You can do this on the barbecue or whatever, but the secret is that the juice all flows to the breast. And so I had one lady say to me one time, you know, Jackie, I don't like that turkey. And I said, how come? She says, because it's too juicy.
Really?
See? So let me tell you what you do. You just brush it all around with butter, okay, or margarine, whatever you like. Then you put breast side down, 275 degrees, 23 minutes a pound. 275. Now, the bird has got to be at room temperature, and if you're going to stuff it, it should be at room temperature as well, and it is juicy. Now, let's talk about the dressing.
All right.
All right. If you saute all of your dressing and put it in your crock cooker, I don't know about your family, but my children love dressing. Well, this is not a real big turkey if there's only 2 or 4 and you want extra dressing. You put it in your crock pot, and it stays 3 hours. It stays hot.